Hello, everyone. Hope all of you are doing well. This is Lutfar, the course coordinator of ACFI 3190 Financial Institutions Risk Management. In this video, I'm going to show you how to download data for your group assignment. Okay, so first of all, let me share you the assignment document. Okay, so I think all of you have had a chance to look at this document already. So the title of your assignment is Risk Exposure of Commercial Banks, a comparative study of Australia and China. So what you essentially need to do is you need to estimate risk exposure of individual Australian and Chinese banks to multiple risk factors. You will see that I have given you the names of 4 Australian banks, for example, Commonwealth Bank, National Australia Bank, Bank of Queensland, and so on, and also the names of 4 Chinese banks. So 4 Australian banks and 4 Chinese banks make the sample for your assignment. And then you need to estimate this model. You can see in the left-hand side, you have stock return of individual financial institution. And then you have some risk factor, for example, market return, so which is indicative of market risk, interest rate changes, and exchange rate changes, which are a reflection of interest rate risk and exchange rate risk. Okay. And since in the left-hand side, you have stock return of individual financial institutions, that means you need to estimate this model for each of the financial institutions. So you need to estimate this model 8 times, okay? And then you also need to estimate 2 other models with additional variable, for example, dummy variable for GFC and dummy variable for COVID, okay? I will upload a separate video on how to estimate a regression model and how to explain the regression result. Okay, but in this video, I will focus on data collection. So you can see what data you need is a stock price data for this individual financial institution, the values of market indices, for example, SSE Composite Index and ASX 200 Index, short-term interest rates, for example, 3-month Treasury bill rates, and spot exchange rates for AUD, USD, and CNY. That's the Chinese currency and USD. So these are the exchange rates you need to get. You also need to know what is your sample period, because that will dictate that how long the time series data you will need. So you can see that your sample period is from January 2006 to December 2023. Okay. I will show you how you download stock price data and market index data, exchange data from FactSet. And for the interest rate data, you can see that I have already given you the links to get the short-term interest rate data for China and Australia. Okay. Okay, so let's see how we get data from FactSet. So as an enrolled student in this course, you have been given access to FactSet. Okay, and once you log into FactSet, you will be able to download data. So I'm sharing my screen again. Okay, so I think all of you can see my screen. So just Google search FactSet login, and you will get this page. And if you click FactSet login, then you will get this page, okay? And if you are already registered, then you put your login and password details, So you will get a one-time passcode in your UN email. So it's a two-step authentication to log into FactSet. Okay. And if you are not registered yet, so you can use this create password for new account. Okay. So once you log in, you will get this page. So for example, FactSet Web, FactSet Workstation. So I click this Launch FactSet Web page. And if you do so, you will go to this page. Okay, so you are essentially into the FactSet now. And then you need to get the data you need. So first of all, you should go to company and security, for example. Okay. And I delete my previous search history. Okay. So in the left-hand side, you need to search for the security you are looking for. For example, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, you can see. So in the drop-down menu, you get this Commonwealth Bank of Australia equities. So select this one. Okay. And you can see here single, so make it multiple because we will be downloading a stock price data for multiple companies. Okay, so Commonwealth Bank of Australia. Let's search for a Chinese bank, which is Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. Industrial and Commercial, you can see Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. So it's added in your list. Okay. And now let's search for a market index. S&P ASX 200. Okay. So I have shown you how you add individual companies and market index. So you keep doing this for other banks or other financial institutions you have in your sample. Okay. And then you need to customize the sample period. I have already selected it like January 2006 to December 2023 because that's your sample period. So once you select them, click OK. And then monthly because you need monthly data. And you also select the currency, which local currency. That means your data is in local currency denomination. And once you select all of your companies and market indices, so you select download. Okay. If you select this, it will come new spreadsheet or PDF. If you click OK, then you will get the data in an Excel spreadsheet. Okay. I will show you shortly that how this data will look like in an Excel spreadsheet. Okay. Now let's go to see how you download the exchanger data. Okay, so let's go to markets. And once you go to market, you see foreign exchange and select historical. Okay, and then you see is a performance that we need time series data because we need data for the whole sample period. Label, and we don't need daily data. We need monthly data, right? And we need end of the period monthly data and 1 year. So our sample period is almost 20 years. So yeah, so let's make it 20 years. Okay. And then you get all these exchanges. For example, we need AUD USD and we need USD CNY. That means the exchange rate of exchange rate of US dollar and Chinese currency. Okay. Now, one problem with FactSet exchanger data is we cannot download individual exchanger data. Instead, we need to download the whole data set for all exchanges. So if you click download, so you will get this, and just click download, you will get all exchanger data. That's not a problem, in fact, because you just delete the other unnecessary data and you just keep the two exchanger series that you need. Okay. Once again, I will show you very quickly that how this data will look like in an Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so now you know how you get data for individual financial institutions, market index, and exchange it. Okay. Then, as I already mentioned, that for the short-term interest rate data, I already gave you the links to get the data for Australian and Chinese short-term rates. And if you just click that link, you will be forwarded to here, the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Okay, so you can see that 3-month or 90-day rates, yields, bank bills total for Australia. So this is Australia's 3-month short-term rates data. And once again, you need to select the dates, for example, like 2006, January, and then December 2023. And if you click download and you select Excel, then the data will be downloaded in Excel. Okay. So now essentially you know how to download all the data you need. Okay. Now I will show you very quickly, as I mentioned, I will show you quickly how the data look like when you download them. Okay. First of all is this, for example. So this is the data from FactSet for market index, for example, S&P ASX 200, then Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, Commonwealth Bank of Australia. So this is how the data look like. Okay. So these are the stock price data, and these are the values for market index. Okay, but don't forget that to estimate the regression model that I have shown you earlier, you need the return data, but these are the price data. So you need to calculate return data from this price data. Okay, and then this is how the exchange data will look like. Okay, because as I already mentioned that we download the whole extended data series and then just delete what you don't need. Okay, so for example, you delete, sorry. You delete these ones. You also don't need this one. And you delete all the rest of the data that you don't need. Okay, so now you have the exchange data of AUD and USD. Okay, just let me show you quickly if you don't know how to do this. So I copy this data. I copy this data and paste a spatial and transpose. Okay, so let's delete them. So now the data, this data looks like the data that you got from the individual financial institutions and market index. Okay, so now both the data look similar so that you can put them in one Excel spreadsheet to estimate the model. Okay, and last of all is this one. Okay, so this is the short-term interest rate data that we got from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Okay, so once you have all this data, you need to calculate, for example, stock return, market index return. You also need to calculate a change in the exchange rates, and the interest rate probably you can keep as it is because it's already a rate. And you just put all this data one by one in the Excel spreadsheet, and then that will be ready for estimation of the regression model. Okay, so that's all in this video. As I said that I will be uploading a separate video on how to estimate a regression model and how to explain the results. Okay, so thank you very much.